Good evening. Good evening. Thanks for joining me tonight. Thanks for being here again in the Mingles of Evo Life. And today I'm going to continue speaking about our soul. And although I've spoken about this before, previous videos, I want to emphasize on this topic of healing our childhood wounds, okay? How to heal our childhood wounds and how important it is to become aware of them, okay? For human life in general, for humanity, mankind, everything, okay? Because they are the magic one, the creating tool with which we create our reality. And I'm going to start by saying that when we are little children, right, we depend on and blindly trust everything our parents and or our primary caregivers tell us, okay? We don't know how to discriminate and or block the emotional wounds that our parents or primary caretakers carry within them. We, like good sponges, okay, absorb everything, and unfortunately, wounds will be created that are passed down to us from generation to generation, and that will manifest themselves in our adulthood, for the vast majority without even being perceived or accepted okay? These wounds penetrate deep into our soul and leave emotional scars. Physical scars are seen, right? But the emotional ones are not, because they happen at an energetic level, which is what our soul is made of, okay? This is our core being. This is what our organic selves are, our most authentic selves, okay? So they are vibration and frequency in their purest and most organic state. So they get to the core of who we are. There is a wide variety of these unconscious wounds, and we will focus on some, okay, of the most common ones, such as the wound of humiliation, the wound of rejection, of abandonment, of belonging, of control, that I will repeat, will remain in the subconscious and will emerge through our decisions, actions, the relationships with which we connect, and in the way our life and body is formed and developed over time. Yes, okay? It will affect our biology. I wish to emphasize that these wounds occur because our particular and unique level of our basic emotional human needs were not met by our parents, okay? And I want to emphasize those words, okay? Because each of us have a unique and particular level of needs, of basic emotional needs, that is different from each and every single soul there is out there. So not all experiences are experienced to the same level and in the same way for each of us. For example, it may be that our physical needs have been met, but our emotional needs have not been met to the level that the child needed, okay? For example, in a household, right? One child may feel abandoned while the other does not. And it's the same type of upbringing. They've had the same type of upbringing. That is, the wounds or traumas arise from an emotional interpretation of the child, and physical abandonment not necessarily have to have occurred for the wound to develop. That is very important, understanding that. One child may be satisfied, for example, with his mom coming home from work every day at 6 p.m. and locking herself away to rest, while another may interpret it as an abandonment. So all wounds arise from people's inner reality. The person, the child, felt abandoned by the parent or main caregiver, okay? So this is very important. I'm always speaking about that, for example, being a parent is an experience that many people go through in life, okay? Many of us. But physically, the mother experiences a different level of pain. Our contractions, right, are different between each and every one of those women, of us women. No one can experience the level of pain, only the person that is living the experience. On the other hand, the emotions that are felt from being a mother are very different and are felt very experienced, right? Very different from one person to another, okay? So this is why it's so important in understanding that we all experience life through the lenses of our own soul and of our own interior being. Okay, so all of our wounds arise from people's inner reality. The person felt abandoned by the parent or main caregiver, right? In human life, all that matters is the inner reality. So if you felt abandoned, it is very legit, okay, for you to develop a wound of abandonment. Since wounds are painful to face, the child soon learns to mask them, not to recognize them, and not to face them, and to leave them stored. We learn to leave them stored in the chest, right, of the subconscious. Some to such a level that they are totally numb or asleep to their existence. They become, and this is what Carl Jung called our shadow self, right? Our shadows, because we have neglected to see that part of us. From here on, these wounds will completely influence, affect, mold, and shape the decisions, actions, attitudes, behaviors of the individual, because they become convictions that are difficult, very difficult to detect. In the case of, for example, abandonment, which is one of the wounds that we're going to discuss, this individual is terrified of being abandoned, right? Although he may be in total denial of it. This person is so afraid of being abandoned that he prefers to abandon first rather than to be abandoned. Does this resonate? Okay? Does this resonate? They even usually sabotage their relationships because the pain and fear of abandonment is such that at the slightest sign that there is a conflict or a, let's say, discomfort of some kind, they choose to run and take off, right? In many cases, they even cause the problem to prove to themselves they were correct in the belief that they were going to be abandoned, okay? And that gives them the excuse to abandon first. So deep down, the pain is so great for this person that they don't realize how they are creating their reality. These people live in inner conflict because they are actually emotionally deep people who want to be loved and cared for, and they yearn for healthy and lasting relationships, but never get to achieve them. So they are constantly frustrated. Okay? The situation with emotional pain, and I've always said this, okay, is that it is not seen, unlike physical pain, which allows us, others, to be more compassionate and empathetic towards others, right? If we see someone, for example, walking with a cane and with a hunchback, we automatically hold the door for them and let them in, and we help them, right? And we express our empathy with them immediately and our compassion to them. But what about those emotional pains that we all carry that aren't seen? And they even hurt more than physical pain. As I have said, the red flag for us is to understand that since emotions are the magnet of creation or materialization in the physical, okay? Within this energetic world in which we live, we will end up attracting more of what we are carrying inside, more of our painful wounds, until we can recognize, face, let go, and heal them. This is why for manifestation, it is so important to heal and become aware of our inner wounds, what we are where we are vibrating at, what we are carrying within us emotionally. What is our baggage? What are you telling me, right? Many may ask, Vanessa, are you crazy? Are you telling me that I've created or attracted abandonment into my life? I've attracted all the awful things I've lived? And I'm going to say, with all your respect, yes, we have. Yes, you have. Yes, I have. And I take accountability for that. Okay? And we all need to take accountability and become aware of how energy works in the universe. This is the language of energy. That the woman, for example, or man who carries the wound of abandonment will always look for a man who does not commit. And she will increase, or he will increase, by attracting and creating increasing patterns of the same wound. It will attract, right? The same wound from which he or she wishes to free him or herself. So we will be creating all over again and again in increasing patterns. because energy only grows. So if we are carrying abandonment within us, the fear of abandonment, we will sustain and attract to us people that will repeat those wounds for us until we recognize them and we heal them. We purposely work on ourselves, okay? I want you to think deeply about this and look at your life story so that you can understand it and really empower yourself to begin to heal. Because, as I said, we need to become aware and we need to take accountability of how this happens and understand how this happens in our lives so that we can live lives of wellness and of well-being, okay? And we can, and to our highest potential, but because this is what we all desire. We all desire to have inner peace, to have happiness, right? So the only way that we can truly attract this to our life is by healing these wounds that we all have, because it doesn't matter who you are, from where you come. Every single soul, living, incarnated soul, has wounds to heal. We all have these wounds. Some have one or two, and some have many of them together, okay? To different levels of intensity. That's why we are the only ones that are called to do the work of the healing work, right? Because I can show you the way, I can show you the light of how this happens. I can help you recognize them, but I cannot heal them for you. It's a work that, this is our free will, that you choose because you see how valuable it is for you, how good it's going to be for you to do the work and invest on yourself, that you choose to do the work. If you don't accept, for example, when someone shows you that they value you and shows it to you with some attention or affectionate gesture, ask yourself why. Because down deep inside, you are afraid of being valued, and that value that person is giving you, right? It's giving you, it will be taken away because you think that they are going to take it away. So you like it, but it makes you uncomfortable. And how many times people have different gestures with us that we say, oh no, thank you, or how good you look today. I don't say that. Why don't we accept when people value anything about us, right? We need to pay attention to how we process these things, right? So, and always go within and evaluate ourselves. In the case, for example, of the wound of humiliation, the person felt ashamed. He felt stupid. He felt inferior, crushed. He was mocked. This person will also choose people in their life who humiliate them and lower their self-esteem and self-value. On the other hand, this person may have their self-esteem and value so wounded that they want to go through life totally unnoticed, imperceptible, and closing in on themselves so as to not to be hurt, right? But they end up feeling small, imperceptible, and little, reinforcing the wound again, right? People who are very shy, normally they are people who are very shy and very introverted and self-conscious, and they feel limited, okay, in life. They are people who endure a lot in silence to their own detriment. Also, the wound of rejection, right? In this case, this wound is directed to the person that feels that they are not enough and that they do not fit the shoe, right? He or she wants recognition but doesn't get it. He wants to be accepted but does not feel that he was. So he's gonna want to go to great lengths, right? To people please, for example, in order to gain that acceptance and not be rejected. In order to be recognized, right? Proven by others. And so they end up a lot of times living through the eyes and opinions of others instead of on their own, because they want so much to be accepted. And for people not to reject them, right? So, tonight, I'm gonna leave it here, but we're gonna keep on speaking about next week, about these wounds and how to each one of them develop in us so that we can recognize them and deeply look and analyze ourselves. Which are the wounds that I am carrying and that I need to heal in my life? Your situations in life will be the pin they're gonna be signaling you also, right? About which they are. But we need to recognize them and do the shadow work and inner child work. And we're going to be speaking later on how to do this, okay? So that we all can benefit from this information. And I honestly send love to anybody that is experiencing a lot of turmoil right now in their life, because now I'm going to speak a little bit of astrology here. Current energies, okay? Current energies in the universe. Because the universe, it's a whole, okay? We cannot separate it. We have right now current energies that are working or pushing us to work deeply on these wounds, to recognize them. And if we haven't done the work for the past 20 years that we were called to do on ourselves, and we did not, we are going to be experiencing in these days a lot of difficulty and feeling very, very stressed and having a lot of conflict in our lives, okay? Like we're struggling. So it is super important to start paying attention, okay, in our lives to our emotional wounds and how we need to work on them. Because our bodies will manifest in disease, in dis-ease also, our life. And we're gonna be experiencing difficult times if we haven't done the work needed, okay? So if you're going through this, I'm sending you a lot of positive energy your way. Know that this is happening to take you to a greater level in your life, a soul level, a higher level of consciousness, a higher level where you're gonna experience a lot of great things in your life. So it's always taking you to a better space and a better place, okay? So sending you a lot of love and light hoping this information is a lot of benefit for you or for anybody around you whom you can share it with. Please share this information so that many others can benefit from it. And as always, sending you love and light, and see you next week where we're going to keep on speaking about these wounds, okay? Bye-bye. Love you and thank you. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.